Hello. Today I wanted to make a short little video, hopefully short and sweet, going over something that personally happened today that I'm still quite shocked by, that affects me a fair bit. But I wanted to make a little video going over it, talking about it, and hopefully being able to help other people with it a bit too. So I'm going to be talking today about the Relic Castle website shutdown that happened today, and I'm just going to be going over it a little bit. But more importantly, I want to kind of do a little summary on where fan games can still be found, where resources can still be found, and put some hope out there. Because the news that came out today is very grim. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, well, today at apparently 6 a.m. Australian time, I was well and truly asleep. The Relic Castle Twitter put out this statement. Dear Pokemon fangame community, it is with a heavy heart that I announce that the Relic Castle website has been taken down following a DMCA takedown notice. Relic Castle has always been non-profit, ad-free, tight-knit community, and we pride ourselves in what we have achieved. Members have felt at home, made friends, and even careers with us. It is a deep regret that I will have to inform you that the form part of this community, which was 10 years old this year, has to come to an end. With over 20,000 members, 65,000 posts, Relic Castle has become a home to many of us. The Discord server is not going anywhere, and the site is still visible as an archive using Wayback Machine. Thank you all for your help. Thank you all for being with us for the last decade, and thank you for making Relic Castle an awesome and life-changing place as it has been to some of us. Sincerely, Marin the owner and Andy the manager. And first of all, I just wanted to say that the staff have absolutely done a good job. As the statement says, they really did do their best to stay under the radar and manage it as well as anyone possibly could have. It has been completely non-profit, it has been completely ad-free, but unfortunately, it was still issued with a DMCA notice. It is completely within their right to do that. It is really a shame that they did it because of I think this website mattered to a lot of people and is a really great place, and it really was pretty harmless in my opinion. But that's not really what I want to talk about. But anyway, so that's what happened. And if you go to validcastle.com, this is what you see. It's the same statement. Essentially, the website that you used to see, which was a beautiful form of fan games, is no longer there. It's just completely wiped. And there's not much that can be done about that. It doesn't really seem like, at least at the moment, it doesn't really seem like it's going to come back. This isn't a temporary thing. It seems like Relic Castle is gone. Now, onto the more positive note. As they say, a form is still available to be visible using an archive such as a Wayback Machine. So this is where I would like to talk a bit about how you may still find fan games. It's not completely the end. How while they may be harder to find now, most of them are hopefully not wiped off the face of the internet. So if you go to the Wayback Machine and enter relicastle.com, you're faced with this. It is the website as it was March 2024, before it was taken down. And you can see it in all its glory. Now, the downside is that this is really just a snapshot. It's frozen in time. You can still click on things like Project Showcase, and they will take a little bit to load. And you will see posts that people made. So this is March 21st, 2024, still very recent. And you can even go so far as to click on a thread, and when it eventually loads, you can even find a download button. What you cannot do is you cannot sign up. You cannot make new threads. You cannot make new comments. It really is a snapshot. It's a photo that cannot be edited. But if we scroll down to the download link and click it, it will eventually load, and you will be met with a beautiful Google Drive page which still works completely. And this is the case for many fan games. Now, the way that this is currently, it's a bit of a pain to navigate. And especially since there's different snapshots all taken at different dates of different URLs, it's very hard. And you can't use the search function. So while all your favorite fan games are probably still here and they probably still have working download links, it's very hard to navigate unless you know the URL exactly of the fan game that you would like to view. And that is why I highly suggest using this specific specific snapshot. This is the Relic Castle Game Jam archive. It is still saved on the Wayback Machine, and you can view every single Relic Castle fan game there has been for the Game Jam, which is a lot of them. And for example, if I want to see what Hellgirl's about, all I need to do is go here, click Hellgirl, and it will take me to the Wayback Machine version of that thread where I'll be able to get the download. Very nice, very easy. However, a bit of a downside about this all is that while a lot of the games have been saved, some have not. So, for example, if you're like, damn, Atomic Reactor is really cool, he made Pokemon Infinity, I want to play his other games, and you want to play Earthbound Capsule Quest, a game he made for the very first Relic Castle Game Jam in 2015. If you click on it, the Wayback Machine has not archived it. Most of these archives by the Wayback Machine have been done manually by a member of Relic Castle. Unfortunately, that does mean that not every single game is saved. So this means that the thread for Earthbound Capsule Quest is now completely gone. And it's not just that game, there's probably a lot of other smaller games that haven't been backed up either, that are now gone. On the positive side, if there's a game that is popular, it most likely was backed up. Now, this is just one means to finding fan games. It's a bit tedious, but it is there, and it is very good that we have this archive. I want to go through some other parts of the community and some other places you can find fan games. And then a big one is Pokecommunity. Pokecommunity is still completely up and running. It works perfectly. And Pokecommunity has a wonderful section called, I scrolled past it, Games Showcase for ROM hacks and non-ROM hacks. And if you go here, we can see a wonderful selection of many, many, many fan games. 32 pages of them. It is a lot. This part of the website has been up and running for a long time, you can see, from 2016. And even now, myself included, a lot of people have been re-uploading their fan games from Relic Castle, or re-uploading their threads from Relic Castle here. My very first game was Pokemon A Passage Through Memories, and I've already made a thread for it on Pokecommunity, and I plan to do that for all the games I ever made, so that the thread is still accessible somewhere in an easy to find place. But it's not just me. You can see that Vendilly posted a thread for Karma today. And Karma was a game that she made a long time ago for Relic Castle Game Jam. It's not just Vendilly. Tales of Outskirt Stand by Mac, again, posted today. These are all Relic Castle members who are uploading their older games onto Pokecommunity so that they are accessible. I think more and more Relic Castle members will begin to do this, and I urge anyone who has a game of their own that they haven't re-uploaded yet to go ahead and do it, just so it's more accessible, just so it stops it from becoming lost media. Now, just about the fan game community in general, a very important stuff for fan game makers is resources. And if we go back to here, a lot of the resources are saved. But again, scrolling through the Wayback Machine, it's a bit of a pain. You can't use the search function, which is very important for resources. Luckily for us, resources exist on Pokecommunity too. If I'm going to be honest, they're not as extensive as they were on Relic Castle, but it is completely better than nothing. It is very good that this even exists. So this is, you can see game dev, ROM hacking, decomp. There's a lot here. And even if I did prefer the way Relic Castle did it, it's good to see this. And you can even see Vendilly again is re-uploading all her resources on Pokecommunity so that they can be found. It's beautiful work, and it means that for fan game devs who are just starting off, it is still accessible. They can still find all the resources that they want and do the things that they want with ease. Now, another part of the Pokemon community I would like to highlight, just because I want to really highlight some aspects of the community which are not Relic Castle, but are still growing extremely strong to show that while Relic Castle is dead, the fan game community is far, far from dead. And I think that's a very good thing to focus on because it's very easy to be quite a doomer right now. Relic Castle is dead. Oh no. Fan games are dead forever. We're never going to be able to have fan games. Well, just 2 weeks ago, Eevee Expo released their Eevee Expo 3, a nearly hour-long expo highlighting many, many, many different fan games. And it got 16,000 views. In general, I tend to consider the Pokemon fan game community a pretty niche community. Pokemon, people love it. Fan games, not that well known about apart from like Uranium. But this showcase of fan games got 16,000 views, and I think that really goes to show just how strong the community is. And this event, while many Relic Castle members took part in it, it is completely individual from Relic Castle. Relic Castle being taken down does not affect this at all. The Eevee Expo, I imagine, will continue, and I think that it might even continue in a more independent and stronger way than it did before. As it is right now, it currently links to Relic Castle threads for most of the games. Luckily, you can just take that thread, post it in the Wayback Machine, and you should get the game you want. But again, it's still pretty inconvenient, so I imagine going forward, the Eevee Expo will be looking at a more stable way to provide the games themselves so that you don't have to go through an archived website. But that's just one way that the community has been strong recently. Another website I want to highlight is the Insert Name Jam website. Wolf Tycho and a bunch of other community members just recently hosted a game jam of their own, again, independent from Relic Castle. It stood on its own 2 feet and it was surprisingly popular. We got 8 new fan games out of it, and this is the first time this jam has ever been hosted. The games are all hosted on this website that is still up and running. All the games are still available for download. You can still comment on the threads, you can still make an account. It all works perfectly and strong. Plenty of fan games to play there, and I imagine in future years we might even get more insert name jams, which means more games. A similar independent jam that happened was hosted by Thundergut, the Pog Jam. In fact, we've had 3 of them. Again, completely independent from Relic Castle. This is not affected by the Relic Castle takedown at all. And you can see all these games which are still available for download. You don't need to jump through any hoops to go through an archive. You just click on one that looks interesting, like Professor Pog's Vacation, and it will take you to a download. It's wonderful. And I think I just wanted to end on this highlight of the community and how strong it is, just again, because I think, well, I've personally been completely wrecked by the takedown of Relic Castle, and it's touched me very deeply, and I'm sure there are many, many, many other community members that have been touched deeply too. Like I said, 20,000 members, 65,000 posts. I personally believe this is far from the end of fan games. If anything, in like even the last month has shown me, Pokemon fan games are still going to be very strong. The takedown of Relic Castle will damage them, sure, but I don't think this is the end by any means. So I still want to look forward to the future and see what wonderful fan games can happen. If you're working on your own fan game right now and maybe the takedown of Relic Castle has discouraged you, I I hope that you stay strong. Again, there's still plenty of places to post your fan game. Pokecommunity is a massive community and it has its section for fan games. Many independent jams that all host it on their own. The Relic Castle Discord is still very strong, and if you ever need help, they have a help thread section in there too. You can ask for help. People are always willing to provide it. It's a wonderful community, and I've been a part of it for 8 years now, and there's a reason I've been a part of it for 8 years. It's a wonderful place to be. So that's all I wanted to really say today. I'm sorry if this was longer than I planned it to be. There's just a lot to say about this community. It's a very wonderful community. It's going to take me a little bit to recover from this, at least emotionally, but I think we're all here to stay. It's been a pleasure. See ya.